Well, hello again, and as you can see, the work never ends. Whether it's summer, fall, winter, or spring, there's always work to be done to prepare for the next garden season. Now, let me be clear, everyone gardens differently and have different methods how they operate while gardening. But in my case, this is what's going on here, and I'm coming to share it with you. It's finally fall, and I'm preparing my garden for next season. So what I'm doing here is right at this spot here where the bare ground is, I'm going to sit a raised bed like I have these other ones here. And what I do is work the soil up, get rid of these weeds here, and I'll dump them right back in the same beds. And as you can see, I work the soil and there's a bunch of earthworms here. So this soil is pretty healthy. The earthworms, they are working the soil. They're enjoying the dried leaves and all the old weeds that I've pulled up. And as you can see right here in this bed, I have some dried leaves. I did work the soil again, turning it up and mixing in all the materials that I'm putting in here to enhance that soil. And so once I put all these different things in here to enhance that soil, like this chicken compost right here that I removed from my chicken coop, which is aged manure that I'm incorporating into my soil. So I just put it in there. I turn it up with dried leaves and weeds from my garden that I allow to break down in here to feed that soil and the bugs and all the microorganisms that are living in here, because this is natural materials that they like. See that? Just the dry leaves that I raked up, and I started cleaning up my garden already. I do still have stuff growing in here because the season seemed to be lingering, but I've already raked up. The leaves are still on the trees, have not dried out yet, but I'm working this soil and preparing it for next garden season. And so I'm adding all this natural material, which would also help build the soil, fertilize the soil, and feed the organisms that are in the soil, which then assists in the breaking down of all these natural materials in here. Now, what you're looking at here are some raised beds that I used this season. And the reason I used these raised beds, it's because it gave me some soil depth when I'm planting. So once I dump soil in there or compost or whatever is in there, it would give me that higher level of soil because it's, confined to that one area versus being in a regular raised bed like this one right here. And because this is in a bigger bed and not a smaller confined area, the soil is more spread out. But like in this right here, oh guys, this worked wonders for me growing in them for the first time this season. And with that said, that worked for me. I'm not sure what your situation is. You don't have to follow what I'm doing, but this worked way better when I have the depth in the soil that the roots can reach down and grab nutrients, because the bottom of this is entirely open. There's no barrier at the base. All right, now I have several bags of these chicken droppings together with some dried broken down leaves from last year, which I collected from my chicken coop that I did the deep litter bedding method last season, or I should say last fall. So this is the results of it here, and now I can come in here and add it to this raised beds. And what this is gonna do for me is create natural fertilizer in this area where I'm going to be growing food. It's also going to give me some good nutritious soil. It's natural material. The earthworms are going to enjoy this. The microorganisms are going to feed on this natural material here. The soil is going to be healthy because this is going to be adding calcium, phosphorus, nitrogen, all different minerals that the soil would need to enhance it and to maintain the health of the soil and its integrity. Now I'm also going to add some soil. Let me just show you. So I have the soil at the bottom, which I worked up, as you can see. Then I put some leaves and some other stuff that I gathered from the garden. Then I put the chicken compost on top. And let me just take you over here. My backyard is a whole mess because it's fall and I'm cleaning up pretty much. I removed most of my container stuff. I brought it in already indoors, but this here is soil that came from some of my containers that I'm going to rejuvenate. So this has also natural materials in it. As you can see, there's straw and it's just soil that I grew sweet potatoes in. As you can see, there's still a little tuber right here. But this is all the soil that I'm going to be dumping in the raised beds, together with some eggshells, some wood ash, dried leaves, and garden weeds. I think I found another potato. But this is the soil that I'm going to be adding to the raised beds. And if you notice, I have layered it in. I also have some chicken compost over here. Let me just take you there again, because I have a whole lot going on, and it's a system that I use to look at all this, guys. All dried up leaves that I can put in these beds. I have my compost tea going here. So it's a full-fledged, ecosystem that I have created, and I continue to create over the years for these plants. So this compost here is from is what I started this year. It's gonna stay here until the next spring. If I need it, I can use it. This one is from last year. I started this last year, so this is a year old already, and I didn't have any need for it. See that? Look at that, all natural materials. And this is from chicken poop, dried leaves, food scraps, weeds from the garden, grass clippings, and as you can see, look what it turned into. And if I go a little bit deeper, you're gonna see the earthworms, which I probably shouldn't disturb them. See that? I really don't need this material here right now, and this is nice light material. So I envision planting things in this, like root crops, where there will be free, like carrots and potatoes and beets and stuff like that, because this is really nice light soil. And this is why I like to make this soil, so I can create that environment and that good light soil that the plants can send down its roots, especially for the tubers, to just have a good production. All right. Good morning, chickies. I'm not letting them out the indoor run today because we are going to be getting some rain today, and I don't want them coming out here in the outdoor run and then going in the nest box to lay their eggs, because it's early in the morning and they haven't, well, they probably have already started laying, but I don't want them, when it's raining, to get the eggs all messy, because I don't wash my eggs. So if I don't have to wash my eggs, then I'd rather it that way. I just wash it once I'm getting ready to cook them. But this is what's going on here. All these flowers and stuff, when they die back, all this is going to go to composting and create soil for the garden. So there's a lot of materials that we may not be aware that we can use, but it's going to take time to break down and feed our soil. And I think patience is key in gardening, because sometimes we might want results right away, but you have to be patient and allow it to happen for you naturally. All right, let's head back over to the raised beds. Now I'm also going to put some chicken compost in here once this is all said and done with. I'm waiting for this to go to seed. It's already nice and hard. This is a burgundy okra. That's another one here, so I am saving seeds on them. I have another variety here. I have 3 or 4 different varieties that I'm waiting to go to seed, guys, because I'm about gardening and saving seeds at the same time. If I can grow my food and be able to save seeds and grow them every year from what I collect, then I'll be happy with that. But I already did these 2 beds, and in here this is all going to break down. So the level of this is actually going to drop, and this is why I'm going to dump it in with the soil on top, mix it all in, and fill it up all the way to the top, because by the time I come back and it's spring to plant in it, the level of this soil is going to drop, because this will be all decomposed and the volume in here will drop significantly. Now I'm currently growing a fall garden. I have seedlings that need to be transplanted, but I'm also preparing my soil for next season. So I garden in a way that I can give myself options to prepare my soil for next garden season, where the soil is allowed to be rested and be rejuvenated for the next garden season. Then I have the option to also feed my fall garden with the aged compost that I already have, because I use the hot composting method, and I also use the deep litter bedding method, where I'm going to add to these raised beds for the following year. Now another benefit for me is that when I'm growing in these raised beds here, it creates a barrier. See this side here? It creates a barrier for some of the critters. I planted, like I said earlier, in these raised beds earlier this year, and a lot of my beans and so were not bothered. My carrots were not bothered. But if you look over here, these are my fall, and I almost fell. These are my fall carrots that I, dropped seeds throughout this bed here. These are protected because the flowers, the branch is broken, so it's literally protecting it here from the critters. But if you look at the top here, the rabbits are eating them up. So this entire bed was full of carrots, and as you can see now, this is what I have going on here for fall. So I am going to drop more seeds. It is warm enough out, but like I said, the sides are not protected at all, and it's easy access for them to climb into this bed here. So this is why I made an investment, and I started buying up some of these cheaper raised beds, which works for me. So that's what I'm going to be doing going forward. I'm not saying you have to spend a lot of money. This is what works for me. This is what I chose to do for a reason, because I've been having critter issues all year long, and they're coming for your food. If you're growing food, they're coming. And even though I don't mind them having some food, I want to make sure that when I'm growing my food, I have sufficient that I can supply my family with it, and probably share a little bit with the critters. But this is all for now, guys. This is what's going on here in my garden. This is how I am preparing for next garden season. As far as composting, getting the soil ready, I am going to add some compost in these beds here, like I said, when this is all said and done with. And that's a compost that's already broken down from last year. I'm going to add that to this bed, mix it into the soil, because I'm currently growing food in it through the fall and early winter, just to give these greens a boost. I'm going to have to pull these tomatoes out because they popped up very late in the season, and those were seeds from last year, which dropped there and germinated. But I am trying to work with these critters. They're eating up all my brassicas. They've been doing that all year, but I can't be mad because everybody's got to eat. Ooh, this radish is ready, but we'll cover it up for now. Look at all that. And these are just some garlic that I missed. I didn't get to harvest them because for some reason they were hidden. And so these that you see popping up here are garlic that I missed while harvesting. But yeah, this is all for now. This is what's going on. Gardening work is never done with. It's joy for me. It's nice and cool this morning, and I'm enjoying the outdoors before the rain comes in. And I prefer to get in there before it rains, because rain in gardening, natural water and gardening goes hand in hand. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next upload.